Selecting the correct pilot light for a 230 volts motor operating on a 240 volts AC system requires careful consideration of several factors. The pilot light will be wired in parallel with the motor, so it's crucial to ensure voltage compatibility and proper wiring practices. There are three main types of 240 volts AC pilot lights commonly used in such applications. Firstly, neon; secondly, incandescent; and thirdly, LED. A 240 volts AC neon pilot light typically operates within a voltage range of 220 volts to 250 volts AC. The power consumption is very low, usually between 1 watt and 2 watts. These lights are available in various colors such as red, green, and amber. Importantly, a neon pilot light can be used safely in parallel with a 230 volts motor. A 240 volts AC incandescent pilot light also operates within a voltage range of 220 volts to 250 volts AC. However, they consume significantly more power than neon lights, typically between 10 watts and 25 watts. These lights come in clear, frosted, and colored options. Like neon lights, incandescent pilot lights are suitable for parallel connection with a 230 volts motor. A 240 volts AC LED pilot light offers several advantages. It operates within the same 220 volts to 250 volts AC voltage range, but it consumes very little power, usually between 0.5 watts and 5 watts. LED pilot lights are available in a wide array of colors including red, green, blue, and white. They are known for their long lifespan and low maintenance requirements. Just like the other types, an LED pilot light can be used in parallel with a 230 volts motor. When connecting the pilot light, ensure that it is wired in parallel with the motor terminals. It is critical that the pilot light is rated for the same voltage as the motor, which is 240 volts AC in this case. Use wire that is appropriately rated for the current draw of both the pilot light and the motor. The wire gauge must be sufficient to handle the combined current to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Besides electrical specifications, consider other practical aspects when choosing a pilot light. Take into account the physical dimensions of the pilot light to ensure it fits properly in the intended location. Also, think about its mounting options to determine if it can be securely installed. Select a pilot light that emits a bright and easily visible light. This is essential for quickly identifying the motor's operational status. Lastly, ensure that the pilot light is compatible with the environmental conditions where it will be installed. This includes temperature and humidity, as extreme conditions can affect the pilot light's performance and lifespan. Remember that electrical work should always be performed by qualified personnel who are familiar with all applicable codes and safety regulations. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed guidelines on wiring practices and component selection. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local electrical codes for specific requirements. If the motor controller and disconnect are combined in a motor-rated 2-pulse snap switch, the pilot light should be connected to the load side of the switch, in parallel with the motor terminals. This way, the pilot light will illuminate when the switch is closed and the motor is energized. The selection of the pilot light should match the voltage that is being supplied to the motor, typically 240 volts AC. Ensure that the pilot light is designed to handle the voltage and current characteristics of the circuit. Verify that the pilot light is appropriately rated for the environmental conditions to which it will be exposed. This includes factors such as temperature, humidity, and exposure to vibration or chemicals. An LED pilot light often represents a good balance of energy efficiency, lifespan, and visibility. LED consume very little power and can last for many years, reducing the need for frequent replacement. When selecting a pilot light, verify that it meets relevant safety standards and certifications such as Underwriters Laboratories, OIL or Canadian Standards Association or CSA. These certifications indicate that the pilot light has been tested and meets established safety requirements. Use appropriately sized conductors when wiring the pilot light in parallel with the motor. The conductor size should be based on the ampacity of the circuit and the current draw of the pilot light. Use properly rated connectors and terminals to ensure secure and reliable connections. Loose or corroded connections can cause overheating and potential safety hazards. Always disconnect power to the circuit before performing any electrical work. Use appropriate lockout/tag-up procedures to prevent accidental energization of the circuit while you are working on it. When wiring the pilot light, follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. This includes requirements for wiring methods, grounding, and overcurrent protection. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult with a qualified electrician. A professional can help ensure that the pilot light is installed safely and correctly. Consider the specific application when selecting a pilot light. For example, if the motor is located in a dark or difficult to see area, a brighter pilot light may be necessary. In some applications, it may be desirable to use a pilot light with a specific color to indicate a particular condition, such as red for fault and green for normal operation. When connecting the pilot light, ensure that the polarity is correct. Some pilot lights are polarity sensitive, meaning that they must be connected with the correct positive and negative terminals. Refer to the pilot light's instructions for information on polarity. Use appropriate strain relief for the pilot light's wiring. This will help prevent the wires from being pulled or damaged, which could lead to electrical problems. Regularly inspect the pilot light and its wiring to ensure that it is in good condition. Look for signs of damage such as cracked lenses, frayed wires, or loose connections. Replace the pilot light if it is damaged or malfunctioning. If you are using an incandescent pilot light, be aware that the bulb will eventually burn out and need to be replaced. LED pilot lights have a much longer lifespan, but they too will eventually fail. When replacing a pilot light bulb, use a bulb that is rated for the same voltage and wattage as the original bulb. Using the wrong bulb can damage the pilot light or create a safety hazard. Consider using a pilot light with a built-in surge suppressor. This can help protect the pilot light from voltage spikes, which can shorten its lifespan. Ensure that the pilot light is properly grounded. Grounding helps protect against electrical shock in the event of a fault. Use a properly sized fuse or circuit breaker to protect the pilot light circuit. This will help prevent damage to the pilot light and wiring in the event of an overcurrent condition. When selecting a pilot light, consider its ingress protection or IP rating. The IP rating indicates the level of protection that the pilot light provides against dust and moisture. Choose a pilot light with an IP rating that is appropriate for the environment in which it will be installed. For example, if the pilot light will be exposed to rain or splashing water, choose a pilot light with a high IP rating. Consider the aesthetics of the pilot light. Choose a pilot light that is visually appealing and that complements the surrounding equipment. Some pilot lights are available in a variety of styles and finishes. If the motor is part of a larger system, consider using a pilot light that is compatible with the system's control panel or other components. This can help simplify wiring and integration. If the motor is subject to frequent starts and stops, consider using a pilot light that is designed for high cycle applications. These pilot lights are built to withstand the stresses of frequent on-off operation. If the motor is used in a critical application, consider using a redundant pilot light system. This involves installing two pilot lights in parallel, so that if one pilot light fails, the other will still provide an indication of the motor's status. If the motor is located in a hazardous location, such as an area where flammable gases or vapors are present, use a pilot light that is approved for use in hazardous locations. These pilot lights are designed to prevent explosions and fires. When installing a pilot light in a hazardous location, follow all applicable codes and regulations for hazardous location wiring. This includes requirements for explosion-proof enclosures and intrinsically safe circuits. Regularly inspect pilot lights at hazardous locations to ensure that they are in good condition and that all safety features are functioning properly. Consider using a pilot light with a dimming function. This allows you to adjust the brightness of the pilot light to suit the ambient lighting conditions. If the motor is used in a sensitive application, consider using a pilot light with a low electromagnetic interference or EMI rating. This will help prevent the pilot light from interfering with other electronic equipment. When selecting a pilot light, consider its operating temperature range. Choose a pilot light that is designed to operate within the temperature range of the environment in which it will be installed. If the motor is subject to vibration, consider using a pilot light that is designed to withstand vibration. These pilot lights are built to prevent loosening or damage from vibration. When installing a pilot light, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. This will help ensure that the pilot light is installed correctly and that it will function properly. If you have any questions or concerns about selecting or installing a pilot light, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert advice and assistance to help you choose the right pilot light for your application and to ensure that it is installed safely and correctly. Remember, electrical safety is paramount. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity and follow all applicable codes and regulations. By carefully considering all of these factors, you can select and install a pilot light that will provide reliable and safe indication of the motor's operational status. The color of the pilot light can also have significance. For example, a green pilot light might indicate that the motor is running, while a red pilot light might indicate that the motor is stopped or has a fault. The choice of color depends on the specific application and the user's preferences. The size of the pilot light is another consideration. Smaller pilot lights are often used in control panels and other applications where space is limited, while larger pilot lights may be used in applications where visibility is important. The mounting method of the pilot light should also be considered. Some pilot lights are designed to be mounted on a panel, while others are designed to be mounted on a wall or other surface. Choose a pilot light with a mounting method that is appropriate for your application. The type of lens used in the pilot light can also affect its visibility. Some pilot lights use clear lenses, while others use colored lenses or lenses with diffusing properties. The choice of lens depends on the specific application and the desired level of visibility. The material used to construct the pilot light can also affect its durability and resistance to environmental factors. Some pilot lights are made of metal, while others are made of plastic. Metal pilot lights are generally more durable, while plastic pilot lights are more resistant to corrosion. The lifespan of the pilot light is another important consideration. LED pilot lights typically have a much longer lifespan than incandescent pilot lights, which can save money on replacement cost over time. The cost of the pilot light should also be considered. Pilot lights vary in price depending on their features and specifications. Choose a pilot light that meets your needs and budget. When installing the pilot light, be sure to use the correct tools and techniques. This will help ensure that the pilot light is installed correctly and that it will function properly. After installing the pilot light, test it to make sure that it is working correctly. This will help ensure that the pilot light will provide reliable indication of the motor's operational status. Regularly inspect the pilot light to make sure that it is in good condition. This will help prevent problems and ensure that the pilot light continues to function properly. If the pilot light fails, replace it as soon as possible. This will help ensure that you always have reliable indication of the motor's operational status.